morning. Every day I spend about an hour, hour and a half meditating or just sitting in silence, not always meditating. I feel like people, when you say I'm meditating, they think you're doing something. But as far as I'm aware, that's actually the opposite of what you're doing. Meditating isn't supposed to be doing something. You're actually doing nothing. My father-in-law once asked my wife, "What is Stephen doing when he's meditating?" And I told her to tell him, just tell him I'm doing nothing. For a long time I've been thinking about doing videos. And then I started watching Kyle Cease, who's great, very motivational. I feel like he and I could be brothers. The stuff that he says, I'm always nodding along. I feel like he and I are more like entertainers or encouragers than teachers, because like Ram Dass used to say, we're not saying anything you don't already know, because when we say things, you nod and go, yeah, that's right. Well, why would you know? And how did you know to nod if you didn't already know, right? So, and so sitting here recording the video, I'm confronted with the fact that you already know everything I would tell you. Which then begs the question, well, why bother recording anything? And I would say it's to remind you that you know what you know, and to encourage you that you are not crazy. The world is broken. I was trying to talk to my 11-year-old daughter about this yesterday, and explaining to her that because she's very bright and very empathetic, as she gets older and becomes more and more aware of the world, she will see more and more things that are broken. And even worse than that is that everybody knows it's broken and nobody's doing anything about it. And that's the part that's going to really drive her crazy. That's the part that drives me crazy. Because we all know that the world is broken. We all agree that it is. We can all point to the same things and say that that's an injustice, that's wrong, that shouldn't be happening, this should be happening instead. So we all recognize it, and yet it's not happening. We're not fixing it. So, if you already know, then you don't need me to say it. And if you don't already know, then me saying it won't matter, because you won't know it. So when I say it, you won't realize that it's true, and you won't go, oh yeah, of course, that's right. Which of course is why, as Ram Dass again has said of the third Chinese patriarch of Zen, the way he starts his writings is those who know do not speak, and those who speak do not know. I think that's probably what he's talking about. Is if you already know, then there's no need for me to tell you. And if you don't know, then no amount of me telling you will resonate with anything in your mind, so you won't even recognize it as true. But you do know, which is why you're watching this video. biggest realization that came out of my meditation time today was that my mind kept wanting to do something productive with the meditation time. So it wanted to visualize and create. If any of you are familiar with Jerry and Esther Hicks and their channeling of Abraham, and what do they call the law of power of creation, the law of creation, and allowing, I listened to a lot of their stuff, I've read some of their books, and what they're saying is basically that this world is sort of like the dream world, in that when you're lucid dreaming, so when you're awake in your dream, you can create and control the dream based on your thoughts. The difference is, in a dream, it happens like that. Whereas in this world, it takes longer, which ends up being a good thing for us, because most of the time our minds are thinking negatively. So that lag time, the slowness of change in this world is good, because we can see things starting to slide negatively, catch ourselves, and shift it back to positive. Anyway, so I'm in meditation, and my mind wants to say, well, let's use this meditation time to creatively create a new, better reality. Right? Bigger house, nicer cars, more money, all the things that we think we're supposed to want. And I'm watching myself doing this, and I'm not running, because who wouldn't want a nicer car or a bigger house, right? I suppose. But as you know, it doesn't really matter. Like Zig Ziglar used to say, no matter where you go, there you are. So you can be you with a broken down car, or you can be you with a really, really nice car, but it's still you. And if you can't be happy with the broken down car, you won't be happy with the nice car. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. The thing that I would tell all of my corporate America co-workers, who by Tuesday at 10 are already complaining about the fact that it's not Friday yet. Friday's never coming. Right? Creedence Clearwater Revival song, Someday Never Comes. Friday's never coming for you. If you can't be happy on Tuesday at 10, you're not going to be happy at Friday on 5. You'll think you're happy because you're leaving a place that you must hate. But then all weekend, all you'll do is think about how you have to go back to that place that you hate on Monday, and that's kind of a silly way to live. And what I'm not saying, and I'm not sure if other folks like Kyle Cease are saying this, what I'm not saying is leave your corporate America job. That would be like saying, oh, you're temporarily unhappy in your marriage, just leave your marriage. It's fine. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a way for you to be happy regardless of outward circumstances, because outward circumstances are not, they don't have the power to determine your inward feelings unless you let them. And you know that. We all go, oh yeah, of course, that's true, that's true. Otherwise, the 95% of the world that doesn't have all the creature comforts and money that the Western world does, or that America specifically does, they must all be miserable because they don't have the money and the comfort and the big houses and the nice cars that we all have. But that's not true. When you travel around the world, people are pretty much the same that they are here. In fact, if anything, they might be happier because the pace of life that they're living is slower. They have more cultural connection between the individual and the culture, so they're not so disconnected from each other and from the culture itself. So anyway, you know what I'm saying is true. They'll go, yeah, okay. Then the obvious question, well, then how do I do it? How do I be happy wherever I am? And the answer is that, and again, I'm just ripping off Ram Dass because he's sort of my guru, my YouTube guru. But I've been listening to him for many years. And again, one of the things he talks about in some of his recordings is that when you say you are in love, for example, what you're really saying is that the other person, the person that you are in love with, they are the key that unlocks love in you. So they're the trigger for you. They're the thing, the piece of code that releases this thing called love inside of you. That's what being in love is like. Well, happiness at work, in this case that we're talking about, what you've defined then is a set of code or a set of rules, or you're looking for a really big ring of keys. It says when all of these many circumstances, all these many pieces of code, all these many keys have been found or met in a particular job, then I can be happy. So when I find a job that does this and this and this and this and this and then this long list of things over here, once I found the job that does all that for me, and oh, by the way, I don't really have to work because who likes to work, in addition to all these other fringe benefits, then finally I'll be happy and I'll stop complaining Tuesday at 10 that it's not Friday yet. And what I'm saying to you, and what I think you already know, is that that long list of things, those keys that you're looking for externally already exist in you. You just have to allow it. You just have to allow yourself to be happy now. Instead of saying, well, I can't be happy until I find the key that allows me to be happy. I'm looking for the work key, the happy at work key. That's what I'm looking for. Once I find that happy at work key, and I'll unlock the happiness inside myself, and then I can finally be happy at work. Well, why wait? That's dumb. Just find it now. Just go find the key right now that lets yourself unlock the happiness inside yourself. Quit waiting to find the key somewhere else. Your boss doesn't have the key. Your coworkers don't have the key. The secretary or the executive assistant, he or she doesn't have the key. The janitor doesn't have the key. Security in the building doesn't have the key. Your bus driver doesn't have the key. The other people driving to their jobs in traffic don't have the key. You have the key that unlocks your happiness at work and every other part of your life. And either you've forgotten that fact or you're really good at playing the role that you're playing. You're playing the role of unhappy employee and you're really into it and you don't want to stop playing the role because it's too much fun, I guess. But stop looking for the key because you have it and you can go unlock it right now. Okay, so go do that. I'm going to eat some breakfast. And I'll talk to you later. Have a good one, guys.